It truly is a land of the free, home of the brave. Democracy held a year ago tonight, but do not take it for granted. This is Don Lemon tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We have an exclusive for you on this program. D.C. Metropolitan Police Commander Raymond Kyle, the guy who was in charge of holding back a potentially murderous mob and holding the line for democracy, speaking out for the first time. We've heard from everybody else but him. Today we've got unprecedented access to the tunnel where the battle for our democracy took place 1 year ago. I went there with Commander Kyle and with my good friend, Michael Fanone. You're going to see that in just a moment right here on this broadcast. But after everything you just saw and heard, can there really be any question that democracy is more in peril tonight than it was just a year ago? This is not about looking back. This is about what is happening right now, tonight. This is about whether we actually want a democracy and whether we care enough to protect it. Because if we turn away, if we say what happened on January 6th is all of the past, that leaves the door wide open for them to do it again. People who put power ahead of our democratic ideals, who put lies ahead of the truth. The big lie of bogus voter fraud is alive and well. States across the country are making it harder to vote. At least 19 states passed 34 laws last year restricting access to the ballot box. And they're not done yet. The disgraced, twice impeached, one-term former president still has the Republican Party in a death grip. And apart from a small handful, none of them will stand up to him. And all of this may be a turning point for President Joe Biden. His speech today was the most direct and powerful since he took the oath of office, laying the blame squarely where it belongs, at the feet of the former president.
We must be absolutely clear about what is true and what is a lie. And here's the truth. The former President of the United States of America has created and spread a web of lies about the 2020 election. He's done so because he values power over principle, because he sees his own interest as more important than his country's interest, than America's interest. And because his bruised ego matters more to him than our democracy or our Constitution. He's not just a former president. He's a defeated former president. Defeated by a margin of over 7 million of your votes in a full and free and fair election.
This is a president rising to the moment, taking on the forces that would tear our democracy apart.
I did not seek this fight brought to this Capitol 1 year ago today, but I will not shrink from it either. I will stand in this breach. I will defend this nation. And I will allow no one to place a dagger at the throat of democracy. We will make sure the will of the people is heard, that the ballot prevails, not violence, that authority in this nation will always be peacefully transferred. I believe the power of the presidency and the purpose is to unite this nation, not divide it, to lift us up, not tear us apart. It's about us, not about me.
There was a time when Republicans knew the truth of what happened on January 6th. They knew who was responsible. They weren't so afraid to say so then.
The mob was fed lies. They were provoked by the president and other powerful people. They tried to disrupt our democracy. They failed. Former President Trump's actions preceded the riot were a disgraceful dereliction of duty. There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day.
The violence, destruction, and chaos we saw earlier was unacceptable, undemocratic, and un-American. The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding.
Trump and I We've had a hell of a journey. I hate it being this way. Oh my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. But today, first thing you'll see. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
The president's language and rhetoric crossed a line, and it was reckless.
Chaos, anarchy, the violence to wrong, un-American.
Well, once you start taking violent actions against law enforcement, you're not a protester anymore. You're an anarchist. Whether it's anarchy or terrorism, they were trying to storm the Capitol and stop our democracy from working.
This has been a truly tragic day for America, and we all join together in fully condemning the dangerous violence and destruction.
How can you believe anything that comes out of their mouths now? I mean, where are the morals? Where's the backbone? Where's the ability to stand up to an autocrat? The Republican Party had their chance. They had a moment. They actually were doing the right thing, speaking the truth. And then somehow they made a conscious decision to put their own political lives ahead of the life of our democracy, to side with a big lie and a very big liar. And that's how the party of Lincoln, apart from a handful who refused to capitulate, that's how that party becomes fully and completely the party of Trump, a party that stands for nothing but defending the former president and denying the truth.
The president didn't incite anything.
We have a January 6th committee that Nancy Pelosi is leading that is nothing but a political witch hunt on Republicans and Trump supporters.
As they've proven yet again today, over and over again, they only care about attacking their political enemies.
That it really has turned out to be nothing more than a partisan committee just to investigate the former president.
We've seen plenty of video of people in the Capitol. It doesn't look like an armed insurrection when you have people that breach the Capitol, and I don't condone it, but they're staying within the rope lines in the rotunda. That's not what an armed insurrection would look like.
0 firearms from suspects charged with breaching the Capitol.
In fact, it was Trump supporters who lost their lives that day, not Trump supporters who were taking the lives of others.
I can tell you, the House floor was never breached, and it was not an insurrection. You know, if you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
I mean, again, how can you believe anything that comes out of their mouth? Everybody knows, and they have to know. Because we know those are complete lies. We know what happened. We saw it with our own eyes. The Republicans were mostly making themselves scarce today as the Capitol remembered January 6th. Only two, Liz Cheney and her father, the former vice president of the United States, they were on the House floor today for a moment of silence. Dick Cheney had strong words for Republican leaders.
It's not a leadership that resembles any of the folks I knew when I was here for 10 years.
We saw on January 6th, what we saw was seared in our memory. It is. No matter how much we might wish we could forget it, it's seared in our memory. This is what it was. This is what it was like as rioters ran wild in the United States Capitol and our democracy was in the balance. Watch. Normal tourist visit, right? I told you we got an exclusive interview tonight with the man who was in charge of holding the line against a mob of rioters trying to break into the Capitol 1 year ago. He is speaking out for the very first time tonight on this program, and we were granted exclusive, unprecedented access to the Capitol's West Terrace Tunnel entrance to speak with D.C. Metropolitan Police Commander